I'm Mike Gorin. Welcome to day 25 of the Summer Sega, where today we are going to take a look at Super Thunder Blade's Contemporary, which is launch day contemporary, I should say. Space Harrier 2, and as you recall, this was probably our perfect playthrough number. Oh, wait a tick. Have we never played this game on this channel? Holy crap, we never cover this game. Okay, Fantasyland falls into crisis now. Okay. So here's the plot. The whole entirety of Fantasyland, as they say, has fallen into crisis, and we have to take care of it. It's technically a sequel to the original arcade release, which I may or may not cover down the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Our objective is to clear out all 12 of these levels in one sitting, and with the hopes of taking on the final boss and beating the game. So, without further ado, let's get started. And this is basically just get the high score type of game. There is achievements based on how well you do and how far you make it. Heck, there's one where you clear this I think the first stage without dying once, which can be pretty difficult. But this is literally like a challenge-based achievement. Alright, the boss is beaten. That's one stage down. We moved on to level 2, For's Yard. Now I don't have to worry about the achievements things because I already got them. So why do I do a perfect playthrough of the compilation if there isn't built-in achievements? Honestly, other than with a couple exceptions, these achievements tend to be really easy. And don't involve things like beating the games, typically speaking. Except for Mean Bean Machine and Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, where they make you beat the game. Jesus fuck. I think the most shocking thing is I didn't even cover this for 12 Games of Christmas. I wasn't able to beat her last time I played this game. If you take too long to beat some of these bosses, they will just dip. So what happened? What's different from the couple space area, first space area game, is that there were some rogue space harriers that have basically turned on Fantasyland and have enlisted the monsters from the first game to try and conquer it. I think I should probably should have included like a a strobing light warning. It's funny is that you can literally get a lot of these bosses into a weird looping pattern here by zigzagging like this. And you know what? This game controls way better than Super Thunderblade. So So now we have to deal with giant mechs. I was wondering if I was died there. And now this boss, we have to defeat all these guys. Alright, I'm going to use a quick save here in case of emergencies. So we want to take out as many enemies as possible. Get enough clan. For each big clan, we basically get an extra life. To my knowledge, these enemies will do basically nothing to try and kill you. So we are basically encouraged to get a shit ton of points off of these guys, so we can farm for extra lives. Copper Hill is level 5. So we are a third of the way there. I do think it's neat that you can literally play the first 12 levels in any order that you like. I at first thought that I had the fast forward option going, but no, we're literally speeding up. And we gotta fight this big condor thing. Oh, it's a tiger condor. And when these bosses get close to you, that's your time to strike. Oop. Nope, he's grounded. And now they're shooting lasers at us. Huh. Now we're in stage 6. Every time we beat a boss, we move on to the next stage. So yeah, this game is probably far trippier and surreal. I'm kind of amazed that I never thought to play this game on Perfect Play. I never went out of my way. Even in the first year, when I was mostly playing the 1989 Sega Genesis releases. Or in the first iteration of 12 Days Games of Christmas that featured Thunder Force 2 and Revenge of Shinobi as the first two games. So we now have to basically fight these three at the same time. Alright, we finally took care of them. Gradia, stage 7. Oh, we're already this far into the game? Man, this is a really short game. I'm constantly having to remind myself that a lot of these shoot 'em ups, because they're so hard, tend to make up for it by being super short. Heck, Rambo 3 is technically the first run and gun on the console. Even though it's a top down run and gun. So even though you can't continue from where you left off per se, you could technically grind on each level individually until you've done a sufficient enough job mastering them, and then play the game for real and until you reach the final level. So I think that's the main appeal with Space Harrier 2. Hey, she was on the cover of the game. It's a shame that we never got a Space Harrier 3. And the funny thing is, this is probably the one of the. Oh, I gotta get out of the way. This is probably the least aggressive boss fight in the entire game. It's kind of silly. Alright, let's. Wow. And is this a stage 8 boss? Oh, that's annoying. I guess it was. Mowing down these clams by the truckload. Wow, I really sucked at this one. Fell cold. So I'm not really saying a whole lot. I'm just concentrating. Wow, oh, we're at stage 10 in in just 21 minutes. Okay. Oops, I can't damage this guy. I have to wait until he opened up his shell before he could kill the boss. Hell Peak, level 11. What's funny is that it doesn't really feel like these levels are getting harder either. And reckon the reason for this, why the bosses and the levels seem to be of equal level to one another, is because you can literally do these 12 levels in any order that you like. But I don't know. I think even Flame Runner has its various levels, even though you could do them in any order that you like. Some of those levels are way harder than others. Like, so we're at level 12. Again, I'm primarily using save states in case of emergencies. And this is the last of the 12 levels for us to do. Another thing to note is that this game isn't that difficult. Well, probably the reason why I don't think that is because I'm using the rewind feature whenever I die. Oh shit. Okay, this level's definitely way harder than every other level, even though you could technically do that level first. And it's because of those pillars being super spaced out. And we gotta fight yet another fire dragon, and it's the same strategy as last time. And I like to consider this to be the long game against these dragons because they move. Because these guys are so difficult to hit. This is basically the long game right here. Alright. No bonus round this time. We are taking on the final level, Trimular. Something else I noticed is that they removed our lives. Paranoia. Oh, this must be the boss names. You just have to mash the A or C buttons over and over again. Blizzard. Stage 3 boss. Yeah, another one of these dragons. Alright. Neodom is the fourth boss. Which is just these assholes. Alright. Manticora, the stage 5 boss. So that's what it was, of Manticore. Yeah, that makes sense. Sort of. Got him. The next boss is Wizard. Just Wizard. They gotta be close to dead. Got him. I always rotate opposite where they're going, so I always hit them. Medusa, we get to take on the cover boss next. Got her. Yotomo, stage 8, the stage 8 boss. Yeah, the final level is literally just a boss gauntlet. Alright. Kragon. Alright, that was easy. Bin's Bean. Bin's Bin. Oops. There. Left face. I think that's stage 10. There. And now Cthulhu. The final of the 12 bosses of this boss gauntlet. Wait a second. Dark Harrier, the final boss. This guy's tough. So, yep. This game went from difficult but manageable to freaking Zara levels of cheap. The only difference is that I at least know that I'm actually damaging this guy. Is that it? Wait a minute. It looks like that's it. The war is over. However, Harrier feels an unbearable emptiness, rather than the usual satisfaction that results from... Okay, I don't need to do anything. The successful accomplishment of a mission. He thinks to himself, I'm not the only one who has this superhuman ability. Space will be doomed if an evil-minded maniac avails himself of its power for his own selfish purposes. The power should always be utilized for righteous deeds only. In order to maintain peace throughout the universe, Space Harrier departs once again to do battle with the enemy. And in the space year 6221, Harrier went off to war for the very first time. That's the events of Space Harrier 1. Later in 6226, at the Battle of Dragonland, our hero distinguished himself with his valor. Finally, in Fantasyland in the year 6236, Harrier met the Dark Warrior in Mortal Kombat and emerged the victor. And that is the plot of the each of the Space Harrier games. Right there. And sadly, we never got a third Space Harrier game. The series basically ended with this launch title. Which is a shame because even though Space Harrier 2 is, through all intents and purposes, one of the more important titles in the legacy of the Sega Genesis, it says a lot that a lot of people look down poorly on each of the launch titles. Super Thunderblade isn't well liked. Space Harrier 2 is probably one of the better liked games from the launch title, but it's not well respected. It's seen as not very good. Thunder Force 2 is not seen very likely, and even Altered Beast, which is probably one of the most iconic launch titles in video game history, is not very well liked. That says a lot. And what about the other ones? Tony Lasora Baseball, it's liked okay, but it doesn't have much of a legacy as far as video games go. Every baseball game that came out after basically trumps it. Alright, I'm going to... JL. No. So that's it. There's nothing left for us to do. We've achieved a perfect playthrough of Space Harrier 2. For for the Sega Genesis. So I will be re-uploading this title at a later date. So, let me just sort these out. I already did these 3 games. So we've got 4 more games from this initial batch left to cover. And I seem to have taken on a bit of a columns addiction. So you know what? This will be my next game, Columns, for the Sega Genesis. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gorn, sign out.